5 seasons, but the team's success is up. Do you feel a change?
Yes, I do feel a change. He's playing great basketball. My only fear for the Cleveland Cavaliers, right now he's averaging 24 points. When you get to the postseason, superstars usually add to their PPG 4 or 5 points. If he has a couple games where he's off, who's going to be the next person to step up to carry that load? That's my only fear for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Other than that, this guy's playing phenomenal ball, and I'm happy for him.
Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland got to show me defensively. They got to show me because they're going to get picked on. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland got that in them. And you're going to have that in you because every single person on the Boston Celtics in the starting 5 and then the 6, including Al Horford, could do what they say, could take your ass to that low block.
So the NBA regular season is officially over, and for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the season went about as well as it possibly could have. At times they looked completely unbeatable, but even still, they have not earned the respect of the national media, and nobody is giving them a chance to beat Boston. Which does make sense. I don't think anyone should have a reason to think the Cavs are the team to beat, or should be favored against Boston, until they go out there and prove it in front of the bright lights. The only thing that's a little frustrating as a Cleveland fan is when guys like Shaq say things that show that he has not even watched one Cavs game this year. How are you going to say you don't know who is going to step up behind Donovan Mitchell? That is just bizarre to me, because at times this season when Donovan Mitchell was struggling, he actually was getting picked up by guys like Jerome, Mobley, Hunter, and especially Garland. Mitchell has not carried the Cavs at all this season because he hasn't had to. He's been able to play unselfish basketball, which has worked wonders for the team. Anyways, we now, as of today, know that the first round matchup is either going to be against the Miami Heat or the Atlanta Hawks, and right now, I'm not worried about either of them. But this video is pretty much going to serve as a postseason preview. I'm going to talk about every potential matchup and what the Cavs need to do to get to their ultimate goal of winning a championship and so much more. But first, I want to introduce you guys to Cleveland's cool clothing. Now is the perfect time to gear up for the playoffs, and they sent me a ton of cool stuff. They got sweatshirts, customized t-shirts of the players like this Jarrett Allen one. They have so much to choose from, and it's not only Cavs. If you're a big Guards fan, they have this sick tribe shirt that is a mix of the Indians feather and the Cleveland Sea. It's definitely my personal favorite. I think even my dad ordered one. So definitely go check them out today. They've come out with a ton of new releases. The product is so quality, and I've been wearing my Cleveland Cool sweatshirt around a lot. And if you go to the online store and get something, make sure to use promo code SPENCE and you will get 15% off your order, which is an absolute steal. So shout out to Cleveland's cool clothing. Everything that you will need will be linked in my description, including the promo code. I'll also pin a comment, and go Cavs. Alright, so right now, as I mentioned, the Cavs' potential first round matchups are down to the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat. The Hawks did give the Cavs fits in the first half of the season, beating them twice in a row, and I would have been a little bit nervous about them if they had DeAndre Hunter, but now Hunter is on our side, and I can't be scared of a team that is going to have LeVert and Niang in the rotation. The G-Wagon is going to try to have one of those hero/revenge games, and it's not going to go well for him, and LeVert, he will get his 10 points, he may knock down a few shots, but really with him, if you make him shoot without contact, he never makes anything. It's the strangest thing. He's almost better at shooting through contact than he is at making open shots, because he will miss wide open layups, but then he will make a 360 acrobatic shot where he barely even looks at the hoop. And then Trae Young definitely can get hot, and he can put the team on his back, but I really only see him having enough firepower to steal one game. Maybe he can pull off a miracle and get 2, but even though it is Cleveland and we all expect the worst from just what we're accustomed to and what we have seen in the past, I just don't see any way the Cavs with this team would lose to the Hawks in a 7-game series. They have way too much firepower. On January 30th, the Cavs played the Hawks, and they finally made some adjustments. They won that game 137-115 in blowout fashion, and Evan Mobley in 27 minutes had 16 points with 10 rebounds. Darius Garland had 26 points and 7 assists. Donovan Mitchell had 24 points and 6 assists, and Jerome was spectacular off the bench, as he always was, putting up 20 points and 6 assists in just 20 minutes. And then I guess we can look at the opposing stat line too, because DeAndre Hunter played and he had 25 points and 5 rebounds for Atlanta. Now moving on, let's take a look at the Miami Heat. The Heat, of course, no longer have Jimmy Butler. He's now a Warrior, but they do have Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. The Cavs won 2 out of 3 games this season, and the one game they lost was just one of those games where nothing would go down and they just looked exhausted. And let's be honest, it was the regular season. These are NBA players. It was December. It was wintertime in Cleveland, so it was kind of like a mini vacation. That was one of those games where the guys probably went out the night before and lived it up. I know how the NBA works. And honestly, the Heat have a massive regular season advantage because of their location, and we all know it. But the Cavs got a second crack at things in Miami on January 29th, and Donovan Mitchell led the way with 34 points in 30 minutes, and he also had 6 assists, so he was dishing it out. Jerome once again had a 20-point game, this time with 7 assists, and Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen both had double-doubles. Allen had 12 and 10, and Mobley had 22 and 15. Huge game from him. Bam Adebayo definitely has the talent to steal a game. We almost saw him carry the Heat all the way to victory in Cleveland, but I don't think him and Hero is enough to take on the depth of the Cavs in a 7-game series. Anyways, now let's move on to the second round, which will either be against the Milwaukee Bucks or the Indiana Pacers, which again should be a breeze. I mean, the Bucks with Giannis is always tough, but unfortunately for Dame, he has been dealing with blood clots, and those can be dangerous, man. Those are scary. And the Cavs have just owned and been a bad matchup for the Bucks over the last few years. The Pacers could maybe be a 6-game series or 7 if things go wrong, but still, the Cavs clearly would be the deeper and the more talented team. I think the bench would take over and would be too much. I don't think the Pacers would have an answer for Jerome or DeAndre Hunter. Obviously, anything can happen, but my confidence for the first 2 rounds is very high. So now let's move on to the matchup that everyone is talking about, Boston versus Cleveland. They split the season series, getting 2 wins each, but the Cavs made quite the statement in Boston when they came back from being down 25-3 with Jason Tatum doing this arrogant hand motion thing, and from there, it completely backfired on him, and the Cavs just took off. Kendrick Perkins did make a good point when he said he's worried about Donovan Mitchell and Garland defensively, because we have seen the Celtics try to pick on them and it usually works, but honestly, I think this is just a test for Evan Mobley to see if he really is that guy. I think he definitely deserves to win Defensive Player of the Year, no doubt about it, but let's see if he can be so good that he makes up for the small backcourt. Mobley has to be the key to everything the Cavs do if they really want to make a deep run and get to the promised land. We've seen Mobley step up and have big games in the playoffs. He went crazy in Game 2 at the Garden last year, but we need to see it for an entire postseason. And same goes for Jarrett Allen. I have to be honest, I'm a little worried about him because he is the one that made the lights were too bright meme, and there is some truth to it. He can play soft. Sometimes he can play so bad to where Kenny Atkinson will bench him for the final 5 minutes of the game, but when he is playing with purpose and is playing aggressive, he can be a big X factor. I also think Jerome and DeAndre Hunter have to be huge against Boston. Actually, think is the wrong word. They have to, and they will. Nobody can slow down or speed up Jerome. He always plays the same way, but this was more directed at DeAndre Hunter because he has to be ready to come in and lock up Jason Tatum for 30 minutes. If he can hold Tatum to under 35 points, the Cavs will have a chance to win every game. Tatum is going to push off, he's going to get away with it, he's going to complain, and he's going to get his buckets, but it's all about not letting him go nuclear and have those like 50-point games because he's one of the best scorers I've seen in recent history. I have to be honest, he's tough as much as I hate to admit it. As for Donovan Mitchell, my message to him is to not be a hero. Even if the offense goes stagnant, continue to pass the rock around and don't take bad shots. Obviously, when it's Donovan Mitchell time, it's Donovan Mitchell time, and he has absolutely taken over games against Boston, but there can be times where he forces shots, but he's experienced, and he's Donovan Mitchell. He's going to be ready for the moment, and he can handle it. Overall, I think the Cavs are in a really good spot right now. They've had the time to rest up and prepare. They're healthy, and it's an exciting time to be a Cavs fan right now. Let me know in the comments below what your expectations are for the playoffs, what matchups you would like to see us get, and anything else that you would like to talk about. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.